We're live, Carrie. Carrie, this is Perry. This is Carey and Perry talking. Documentaries. Really looking forward to this one. I'm
Yeah,
always looking forward to it.
me
Carrie.
too.
There's not a this one particular that I prefer even more, but yeah, Stultz was very cool. How are you, Carrie, today? Good to see you.
I'm doing very well today. It's odd weather for Southern California because there's rain.
Oh, there's rain.
There's
Seriously?
rain. Yeah, rain today.
Why are we doing this, Carrie? Carrie and
Because
Perry talking documentaries. Why is this? Do you know?
yes, because you and I love movies, documentaries, and it's what I do. So it all fits.
That's why we do this, right? And it's there's no. And I saw a comment of someone on social media, and I thought it was so funny. Oh, you're just a bunch of old guys talking about nothing. I really like that one. That was a compliment. I like that.
Me, me too.
No, big things. We're just talking what we like to talk about, and we explore things together, and we share that so people can enjoy this with us. And if you don't enjoy it, that's also fine. I just love to hang out with you, Carrie.
Yeah, me too, Barry.
So, what about Studs?
Oh, Stutz. I loved Stutz for many reasons beyond what the film was about. I mean, it has to do with what it's about, but there was bigger concepts at play that I don't know that they were trying to do. So I think that was really cool, and I'll name a couple of those. One was admitting that they were staging
Yeah, that
part
was
of it.
cool,
That
right?
was cool.
Yeah.
And then going to green screen after doing that, leaving the green screen on in the background as green screen, but subtly putting X's in there because of the his teachings with the X of you.
But Carrie, I was confused because maybe I'm too stupid, but I almost had the feeling that the green screen was his office, and his office really looks like this screen. Or maybe I was confused.
Well, actually, I think they might have mentioned it in there, but it did kind of look like his office, but he thought it was much better. So
Oh,
what they
that
did,
was it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then that was really cool and interesting from a filmmaker's point of view, and of course Jonah Hill directed the film, and he has vast experience with movies. So I'm not sure in it what was contrived or not contrived, meaning did they plan to have the reveal and then did they plan to go to green screen? Like, I don't know if all that was just planned as part of, because sitting with anybody, no matter how interesting they are, and talking, that's why you and I only go 15 minutes, is that
And this is already boring as fuck, right? And
exactly right,
we're
exactly.
live for 3 minutes, so
Right. So like, are you going to do an hour and a half with a guy about, even if his theories are great and helpful to the world?
yeah.
So I don't know if all that was contrived or that actually happened, but either way, it kind of fit what they were talking about.
But is that the biggest achievement from a film perspective that they did that for 1.5 hour, just a conversation, and it's very interesting. This is one of the documentaries, and that's why I love about documentaries. Is if I watch a good movie, and I consider something a good movie, that when I'm done watching and I'm thinking, did I get this correctly, or am I mistaking here, or it really did something? But the first thought is never, oh, I have to see it again. But with documentaries, with very good documentaries, the first thought is always, with me, oh, I want to see it again. And that
Yeah.
was clearly with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I had seen part of it before, so then I watched the whole thing because so I mean, so in a way I saw it twice sort of, but or one and a half times. But I thought and the reason I didn't watch it the first time was just because my wife had it on and I came into it at a certain thing and I thought this is cool. I need to
Yeah.
see it from the beginning. So I watched maybe 15 minutes or a half hour to see what it was about. Some of the
And
stuff in there was cool. Go, Perry. Go.
no.
No.
Some of the stuff is cool, and what I find very cool, and what a good job is. It's not just the story,
Yeah, that's what I
and
was going to add.
that's what I find so cool how they did that. That it's not just the story.
No, and what? Yeah, what I thought was very bold in some ways as a filmmaker for Jonah Hill, which when they switched up and said they were, you know, falsifying it being one session and it was over a bunch of times, which makes perfect sense because I don't know how you just start from head to tail on a 1 hour and a half, and there's no way that would be interesting, even though that would, if they just shot it in one sitting, right? Because you would have missed a bunch of stuff that they didn't get in there. But I think part of what was interesting about that was when Jonah Hill finally realized his place in the movie,
Hmm.
like opening himself to some of the teaching from Stutz, because it was it wasn't starting to drag as a movie because you could see that they put it together properly, but you could see how it would drag if he didn't bring himself into it,
Yeah,
right? And his position and his thing. And yeah, that was very interesting.
and you know what I found the most interesting, Carrie, on this one is the relationship between the two of them, because that's who isn't thinking about that when you have a friend who's a psychiatrist or a friend who's a doctor, or that you're wondering how is your relationship with your patients, how does that work? And I thought that was the most interesting part of this movie, to see that relationship between the two of them from both angles.
Exactly, and I think in the beginning of the movie, he doesn't want to do that. So it was
No,
an interesting film choice. I don't know if that was contrived as well, but
I
doesn't
don't
really
think
matter,
so. The
right?
good thing is that you don't have the feeling that it was contrived,
No,
right?
right. You don't. Yeah,
No.
well, I mean, I did, but it's not. It's probably not inherent in the movie. But that's just my filmmaker's mind working through. That's why I say I did, because I could see after a bit of time, oh wow, these things that I've learned, my relationship with him, how my life has changed, and the tools I want to present to the world are becoming very boring if it's just him telling us the tools.
Hmm.
And so at some point, as a filmmaker, you have to say, okay, well, then what's the next step? Okay, it's got to be about my relationship. I mean, he chose that, my relationship with him and how
And,
that works.
am I being very Dutch if I say that it's beautiful, huh? And I can't make this. This is beautifully done and everything. So this is not critique, but I had the feeling at the end, like, how cool would it be if the edges were a little bit more rough, that it was a little bit less polished? I thought it was beautiful, and for me it was too beautiful. That it was, and I think because of the topic mental health, it would have been so nice if it would be a little bit more raw. But that's my personal opinion. Not to no, not
Yeah, yeah, I got that too. I was like, um, I felt like the filmmaking part of it was super polished and super, it was super Hollywood, and that was the sale, and that's how you do it. But I did feel like there was a sense in Jonah Hill that he was trying to portray some authenticity beyond
yeah,
with those
yeah,
tools. But
yeah,
sometimes if you're so into filmmaking, especially if you're a Hollywood guy and an actor, you want they had the dolly, they had it all,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They
So
had it
you're saying
all.
this is already a bit rough for Hollywood?
No, what I'm saying is he didn't make it rough when he could have.
Yeah,
All the equipment was there, the green screen, the dolly, he had the hair makeup, the I mean the hair and the makeup and all this stuff. And he set out in the beginning to just pretend he was going through one session with this therapist who helped him greatly in life and has a bunch of good tools to help other people. So he was trying to expose that to the world. But as it went, you could see it's really slickly done. That beginning was, and so
Hmm.
it was kind of great that they dropped the veil on that. Even though they didn't change the style, they dropped that out and they left the green screen up, and and they didn't really go too far in that direction. I felt like that's what you're saying, is there's some amount of it being raw that would have been really, really cool, like more authentic to what was happening.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
a little bit more naked, right? That
yeah,
it's there and it's vulnerable. It's very vulnerable, but it's so it I'm not saying it should be more vulnerable, but maybe I don't know how to describe that. And again, it's wonderful. We're nagging on this is wonderful. And I think creating this kind of movie about mental health is very well done. Like what you said in the beginning, grab our attention nonstop, perfectly. That's really well done.
yeah. And what I thought was really great is that Jonah Hill had the courage to do this.
Yeah.
That he did not care what
Yeah.
that
Do you
might.
think that takes courage to do that? You think
Well,
so?
I mean, at a certain point, no matter how big of an actor you are, no matter how much you can work, right? Some things are out of bounds or can be, and can leave you left with no work or less work or
Yeah,
choices
yeah.
on stuff. And I think in that way, only in that way,
That's
that
brave then.
then
Yeah.
it's brave in the sense that he's saying, man, I've been messed up since I was a little kid, and I got into acting because I needed all these accolades and I need people to, and then I don't find that in that. That's kind of brave because
Yeah.
Hollywood doesn't
No, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
And I think it's well done to create so much attention for mental health. And I'm curious if Phil now has a waiting list for God knows how many years because he's very cool.
The, how about the drawings?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to have a little card like that saying, Perry,
Yeah,
you're making a mess. You're not doing it right. Let's draw this. This is wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
He's
I mean,
very cool.
he
But
is a
I'm wondering how many people that are triggered after seeing this on Netflix or wherever streaming platform thinking maybe it's not a bad idea to go to see a specialist and talk about our mind. I think we're not doing that enough, right? And everybody should do that, not just actors or business people or successful whatever. Everyone should have, you know, some kind of connection to specialists and talk about your mind and what you think and why you think what you think and what you're thinking about the future and what you think about the past. It's fascinating to talk about that
it's
with
very
someone who
fascinating.
understands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also what I thought was great about Phil is that he basically said, I don't do what I've been taught. I do what I think is right.
Yeah.
Here are my tools. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really say, or maybe he does say, like, they don't know what they're talking about, but it's not real super clear that he's not like this great rebel. He just kind of has his own way and he does it, but that's interesting too.
Good point. Indeed, he is this gentle rebel
Yeah.
in his own bubble, uh, going a bit non-linear. Like, okay, this is not how I'm trained, but this is what I believe. Are you okay? Yeah, I loved it. So we should no, we're not giving grades to the documentaries, but I think this is one of the documentaries that is so interesting, so nice to see it several times. It's
I agree.
very well done. Yeah,
Very well done. Yep.
yeah. We
Great
agree.
character. We
We
agree.
always agree. We should watch the next documentary. We should disagree.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, we
let's.
can just disagree.
Yeah, and action. We disagree now.
Exactly. Maybe that'll make that one person happy. Two old guys fighting instead.
So next week we will have a documentary where we disagree on.
Okay.
We will discuss offline, and then we will invite you all to join us in this conversation or to watch the documentary we're watching next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carey, for being
Thank
here.
you.
This
Yeah,
was Carey and Perry talking documentaries. Nice and fast, 15 minutes. Yeah.
we did it.
Yay, we did it. Thanks, Carey.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.